Welcome to the OSDP. Let me just put on my crown before I begin. Let's begin with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for that on this 14th year of Chungi, the 5th month and 26th month by the heavenly calendar. We're able to begin to study your word through the Poncheron, the worldly Poncheron that you have given us. We pray, Father, that we can be humble before the word and that we may be able to receive the voice that you are sending to us through your Shimjong, that we may be able to form a deeper relationship with you through this content. Sisters throughout the world who are joining and those who would like to join, have the heart to join, we thank you for all the brothers, but for various reasons are not able. We pray that you'll be with all of us equally and that your will can be done. We thank you all for this report. In the name of Timothy, and Nino, Circle, bless your family, acknowledge you. So, beginning today, we're going to be studying the worldly Poncheron, or the best translation that we have right now in English is the original substance of the divine principle. Before we do that, before we actually go into the main slides, I want to cover some things that I covered 2 years ago when we last did the original substance of divine principle. And the first is to help you understand the Korean title of this work. The Worldly Poncheron has been published in Korean as a book. In English, we just have the study guide and we have the slides. But as you can see, in Korean, there was a book, the Worldly Poncheron, that was published. I believe this has been translated into Japanese, but not into English. And this was published prior to Father's passing. It was first published on April 5th, 2012, which is about 5 months prior to Father's passing or Father's leaving his physical body. And then it was revised. A revised publication was published on January 30th, 2020, on the 100th anniversary of our True Father's birthday. But the meaning of a Poncheron is something that really bothered me from the very beginning that I came into contact with this teaching. And I think, the sort of the powers that be, I guess you can say, came up with the translation of original substance of divine principle. But I just wanted to make sure that we understand what the word means. Here, I've taken this is a sort of a screenshot, I guess you can say, from an online Korean dictionary. When I'm looking up the word Poncheron here, and here it is in Chinese characters as well. And here, this English is my translation of this Korean definition. So my translation of the Korean definition is field of learning that studies existence and all the fundamental and universal rules of existence. Well, that's very similar to what in English we would refer to as ontology. In fact, I think, as far as I can tell, Poncheron is a translation of the word ontology. In the 19th century, not so much Korea, but especially China and Japan were opening up to the West. China and Japan, particularly, and they came into all sorts of new philosophical concepts. Words such as freedom, for example, did not exist in Chinese, or many other philosophical terms in Western philosophy and theology had to be translated or somehow translated into the Chinese characters, and there was a lot of process for doing that. And so it appears that the word ontology was translated in two ways. And one of those ways was Poncheron. The other is Chonjeron, and Chonje means existence. And so Chonjeron means the field of study of existence, which kind of, is a pretty much a literal translation of ontology, of the Latin origins of ontology. Poncheron is a little bit different, the meaning of the Chinese characters. In terms of ponche, when we translate that back into English, I think the best way to describe it is that the ponche means main body or original body. che is body, pon can mean main or original. And for example, it's ponche is a word that is used in normal conversation, and whether it's in Japanese or in Korean. I don't know about Chinese. I don't speak Chinese, but and I've explained this before. But if you have a computer, right? You've got your main thing. Okay, if you have contains the motherboard and the sound card, and it's got the hard drive. It says now, so this is the main body of the computer, and then you attach all sorts of things to it. We're going to attach a display. You're going to attach maybe a couple of speakers. You're going to attach maybe an external camera. You're going to attach what else? All sorts of USB drives maybe. So all those things are attached to the main body, to the ponche. And that's the ponche. That's the main body or original body. And in the original substance of divine principle or in OSDP, we're going to talk about how God is the main body or original body of the principle, of goodness, of love. He's the main body of this, that, and the other thing. So this has been translated as original substance. Ponche has been translated as original substance. We may want to think about that in the future, because God is not substance. Because ponche is referring to God himself, and God is not substantial. He's not substance. Father teaches that even in the spirit world, we cannot see God. He is not substantial. He's completely spirit. And so if we want to see God, then God will reveal himself to us, true Father, in whom there's also true Mother, in the person of, so through our true parents. So anyway, that just to clarify that meaning here. Okay. All right. So with that out of the way, with that translation problem out of the way, let's go a little bit further. And originally we really should be studying this in Korean.